Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So on today's video, we are going to talk about IRCTC. Essentially, we are going to revisit this stock and take another look at why it is important to understand what is going on IRCTC. I have made a separate video on this topic a few days back. The entire fundamental analysis has been covered on that stock. I categorically spoke about the fact that the stock is overvalued, it can correct. And it has started to happen, unfortunately. And investors who are trapped in this stock, they would have lost approximately 40% of the value in this stock. Now you might say, Akshat, what is the big deal in a stock falling by 30-40%? That is a fairly common phenomena. And I would agree. I myself have said that there is nothing wrong in terms of a stock falling by 30-40% also. It's fine, right? It hurts. We feel entrapped. We feel very frustrated when the stock falls. But sometimes you end up in wrong type of stocks where if they start exhibiting correction, you should get really worried. And IRCTC is one such stock because the valuations were very high to begin with. So on this video, I'm going to help you understand this case more holistically. We will talk about 4 specific points. 1, we are going to talk about why this fall has happened. What are the major prominent reasons for this? 2nd, we are going to do a fundamental analysis. In case you have missed my previous video, you don't want to watch it, I will cover important points and add new information on this video. So we'll do a fundamental analysis. 3rd, we will take a look at the buying levels. So we will take a look at the technicals of it. And finally, we will talk about that if you are a holder of this stock, if you want to take new positions, what is it that you should be doing? So let's get the video started. And first and foremost, let us talk about the fall of the IRCTC stock. What are the prominent reasons why this stock is falling? Now, the first key reason for this fall is the nature of the promoter holding. Now, let me take you to my screen and share this with you. So if you take a look at this particular chart, you will clearly see that the promoter holding is approximately 67%, right? So you will feel very happy that, promoter is invested. Then you will take a look at mutual fund FII holding, and then you will see that, okay, roughly it looks fine. Okay. So we need to actually look at the semantics or the nomenclature of this holding and look at the specific points here. Who exactly are the promoters? So you have central government and state government, which are the promoters, and it is unlikely that they will cut their holding ever, right? So these people do not sell or buy their stocks. So 68% of the stocks will hardly ever be traded on IRCTC. Then you have institutions. Even these parties do not sell or buy the stocks on daily basis. They are also fairly stable stockholders. So you have another 16%. This is approximately like 84% of the holding, which hardly gets sold or bought. Then you finally have non-institutions. And this is where retail investors get trapped, right? So approximately there is only 15% of the stock that gets traded, right? That gets traded. Now, what does this mean? That if there are only 15% of the stock that is being bought and sold, the prices of this stock or prices of these type of stocks can be moved very, very easily. And this is the game that is going on IRCTC. So what is happening is that you have retail investors who own approximately 15% of the stocks for IRCTC. Now, this also includes big players, right? Big players. Now, what happens is that these big players, they have purchased large quantities of IRCTC. They can buy it and sell it at their will. They have a lot of leverage. They have a lot of useful information about the stock. Most importantly, the news on a stock like IRCTC can be easily created because IRCTC is something, or trains are something which everyone understands, right? Even a common person in India, if they do not know much about the stock market, if you want to make them buy the shares of IRCTC, very simple. Just simply say that, lockdown is going to get unwinded. The IRCTC stock is going to become a rocket. Go and buy it. And they will go and buy it. Similarly, government is launching like more trains. 50 more trains will be launched. So more business for IRCTC. IRCTC stock will become rocket. Go and buy it. Then they will go and buy it. So news manipulation on a stock like IRCTC can be easily done. It is one of the easiest stock to manipulate news on. Because other industries, manipulating news is still very, very hard. But with a stock like IRCTC, news can be easily manipulated. Now, some of you might be doubting that, hey, Akshat, news manipulation also happens. Yes, unfortunately it happens, and it is done with the agenda of buying low and selling high, right? So what happens is that all these big players that you see, these big players, they want to buy the stock at low price and sell it at a high price. And that is the game that is going on IRCTC. Why? Because the retail holding is only 15%. These are the people who keep on selling and buying this stock, bumping up the price and bringing down the price. If good news comes into the market, IRCTC stock will become like rocket. If bad news comes into the market, then it will fall. That is the reality of IRCTC stock. This is something that I had covered on my first video also before the stock price started to fall. I had done this video. You can check the date. You can analyze the entire discussion there. This is one of the prominent reasons why IRCTC stock will always be prone to a fall and a rapid rise. Now, the second reason why the IRCTC stock is falling is due to the valuations. Now, IRCTC had already been commanding a very high valuation. So let me show this and I'll explain this point in detail also going forward. But look at the PE of this stock. The PE of this stock is 316, right? This is insane. Let me show you the PE of another great company, which is Nestle, and it enjoys a very, very high PE. So let us look at the PE of Nestle India, right? It is almost a monopoly in baby products, and the PE of Nestle India is 84.71. The market share for infant cereal is 96%. Talk about a monopoly. Show me like another business that owns literally like 100%. It owns almost 100% of baby product formula. It's a growing firm. It's a private firm. It works with the intent of making money. And there it's commanding a PE of 84.71. IRCTC on the other hand is commanding a PE of 316. I will talk more about this point, but just keep this point in mind that the PE or the valuations were very high to begin with. That's A. Second, this is again something that I said on my first video. I would really request you to go and check it also. But what I said on that video was that the government or any PSU works with the intent of serving the society, right? Serving the society. Their goal is not to make money, right? Why? Now, I'm not saying this in context of IRCTC or Indian government and bunch of different things, but we all are smart to understand that in India, if PSUs are making money, that money will be siphoned off one way or the other. Either there will be corruption, either that money will be squandered in terms of hiring more people and exhibiting inefficiency, and there will be a bunch of different things that will be done. So any PSU is never a growth play, right? It is never a growth play. Whenever you see these type of PEs, you must get really suspicious that something bad might happen on this stock. Now, many of you might be holding IRCTC and would be almost about to press the dislike button on this video. So please don't do it. Please rather press the like button. This section is for you. I will talk about the fundamentals of IRCTC. Now, very quickly, IRCTC is a very strong, stable stock, right? Very strong, stable stock. There is a very good value play that you can do on IRCTC, right? Please keep that in mind that value investing is something that we generally tend to do on PSU stocks. For example, I'm an investor in a bunch of PSU banks. I have talked about it numerous times. Why am I an investor in PSU? Because these are available at a discount, right? Always do the value buying on PSU stocks because governments do not run these companies with the intent of making money. So please keep this in mind. Very important. Okay, now talking about the fundamentals. So is IRCTC a bad stock? No, absolutely not. It is not a bad stock at all. Number two, is it going to go to dust right over the next few years? No, absolutely not. Will the stock price bounce back? The answer is yes, right? It will bounce back. No doubt about that it will bounce back. Will it bounce back to the same level? I don't know, because there has been a massive run up and I'll talk about that on section 3. But what you need to keep in mind is that you need to really understand the point that why such a high PE for a stock like IRCTC does not make any sense at all. So I gave you the example of Nestle, right? I also spoke about the fact that PSUs or government owned entities do not operate with the goal of making profits. They don't, right? There will be some kind of inefficiency that will creep up. When you're doing the PE analysis for a stock like IRCTC, you really need to ask yourself that, you know what, why does it need to command a PE of 316? Are the growth prospects great on this stock, right? Will it continue to make like massive profits going forward? Maybe, right? It will make profits, but there will be no PE expansion, or rather there should not have been any PE expansions on this stock massively the way it has grown. So let me show you some numbers that will hopefully make a lot more sense. So this is what I precisely mean. So look at the sales number for IRCTC in 2013. It was 672. Look at the net profit. It was 5960. So approximately like 8-10%. So if you juxtapose these numbers with 2020, the sales have gone up or increased by almost 4 times. So 4x. And net profit has increased by almost 7x, right? Now you will say that, okay, Akshat, this sounds really good. And I agree that this is fine. There is nothing wrong with it fundamentally. Therefore, I'm saying that IRCTC is not a bad stock. But does this kind of growth reflect a PE of 316? Absolutely not, right? Had it been the case that IRCTC, because it has 4x'd its sales and it is literally like, taking all that additional sales as profits, it would have made sense to give such a high PE for this stock. But the profits are not increasing at such a massive pace at which PE expansion is happening. So I hope this point is clear. This is slightly technical. The simple point that I wanted to leave you with is that sometimes good companies like IRCTC, there is nothing wrong with the business. It is going to be a stable growth business, nothing wrong there. But the stock has been pumped up so much that it was bound to come down. Now you might give me a couple of another arguments regarding PE. You might say that, Akshat, you know what, IRCTC is a monopoly. It will continue to make a lot of money. I agree with you. I'm not saying that. But the issue with IRCTC is that it's not as if that it is left for more avenues to make insane amount of money. It's not as if that it will get into tech business and will start selling more computers, or they will start like more catering services. They have already done it. They have already explored multiple sources of revenues, and it is reflected in their growth. So it should not command such a high premium. That's true. Third, you might say that, Akshat, you know what, railways will grow at a massive pace and therefore IRCTC will grow with it. Agree, but look at the growth of railways. It is not that high, to be honest, and that growth is not highly profitable growth as of now. So therefore, this stock under no circumstances deserved a PE of 316, 17, 18, right? It just does not make any sense. Okay, so this brings us to part 3, which is around technicals. So this is what technicals look like. So we will start looking at the last 1 year data for IRCTC and look at the run-ups that have happened for a stock like IRCTC. So IRCTC started gaining a lot of volume in this area, right, from June onwards. Now look at the number of run-ups that have happened. This was a massive run-up, right? The stock price did not come down. This was a very massive run-up from 3,800 to almost 6,000. And we are talking about like 45% run-up, right, on this stock. Here we are talking about from like 2,500 to 3,800, another like 45-50% run-up that happened here. After such massive run-ups, it was bound to come down. And IRCTC is type of a stock which adopts a pump and dump strategy, right? Pump and dump strategy. Now, why do I say it? So, if you take a look at whenever consolidation happens, so this is a consolidation, this is a consolidation, little bit of consolidation happens, this was a consolidation period, right? Whenever you see consolidation happening, there will be a high buying volume that is exhibited, right? So, this was a high buying volume. What this does is that this acts as a catalyst, right? So this acts as a catalyst. What this does to a stock like ITC is, because people sometimes say that just look at volume and do the technical analysis and you're done. No, wrong, right? You need to understand the nature of the stock also. So what this does is that, for example, if some operator, a big player in the market, they know that they can manipulate IRCTC very easily. They will do one pump on IRCTC, they will buy in huge quantity, they will pump up the stock, give some good news around IRCTC, then all the retail investors will jump and will keep on taking this price up, right? Then it will consolidate again. Then the investor or operator will again do the same theatrics with this. And this is what has been happening for IRCTC for roughly a year now. That these investors start pumping the stock up. Whenever the stock falls, they start aggregating it and make money in the process. So let me make this point even clearer. So for example, you see this big volume, right? This big volume here, right? So this is the price at which the operator would have bought this stock, right? So between this range, he or she would have bought this stock, right? This big player. Now, this is the pumping done by retail investors, right? You can see the volume again, right? And this is again another pump by the operator where they increase the volume. Now, when the stock is coming down, then operator is left with the option of buying or not buying this. So operator can buy this stock again here in this consolidation, or here, or even here. This is a big consolidation range for IRCTC. So these are the buying levels according to me. I will buy a little quantity starting here. This is what my buying range is. It might not hit, but this is the area where I feel comfortable picking this stock, because this is a fundamentally good stock, nothing wrong with it. It is just that valuations have been very high and this pumping and dumping is being done on IRCTC deliberately. Now comes the final section, that if you're a holder of this stock, what is it that you should be doing? So one, please don't sell the stock now, right? Let it fall in case it's falling further. I know it hurts, but there is nothing much that you can do. Now someone will come to support this stock, because operators are also of different categories and different types. They will also come and buy this stock because they understand that this is always going to be a retail oriented driven stock. So don't dump your stock right now. Keep holding it. You have already lost a little bit of value if you have purchased this stock here. I deliberately made a video just to warn you about that. But anyways, right, if you are sitting on a loss, it's fine, not a problem. Just buy it in a decent range, right, whenever consolidation happens. So these are the consolidation ranges where you should take fresh entries, right? So these are the entry points for IRCTC. What am I doing? Very simply, I'm just waiting for the stock to correct to potentially this level. This is where I'll be buying this stock. I also have my eyes on HUL. I talked about it earlier that I'll be investing massive quantities on HUL. It is getting close to its buying range. I will make a video on that also very soon. Now, will these ranges definitely materialize? I don't know, but this is the range where I feel okay buying it as per the fundamental analysis that I've done earlier. You can check the video there. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you the next time.